Okay, welcome everybody to our weekly Crossline Culture Call. I'm Shannon Shine, Pro 6 here in the Denver area. Starting off with the two quotes we share each week. A culture is strong when people work with each other for each other, and a culture is weak when people work against each other for themselves. And the second one, culture eats strategy for breakfast every time. I'm going to toss it to Patti Goolsby to introduce our speaker for today. Patti.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited that we get our guest speaker today. Ry Fry is out of the Utah area, and I've met him personally. A lot of us heard him speak at one of the events and was incredible. And he was kind of new to our company. In August of 2017, he joined us. What I love is he's an entrepreneur. He is a top network marketing professional and a top income earner, and has come over here as an influential coach and is just killing it. Pro 8, I think, knocking on the door of Pro 10. So we are really excited to have him share today with us some incredible takeaways. So I hope you have a pen and paper and you're ready to go. Ry Fry, tell us your story.
Right on. Thank you, guys. I'm so impressed. I was just at an opportunity to talk to you and Shannon, before, and you guys have done this for 4 years now and haven't missed every Friday. And you don't see that in network marketing. You don't see that consistency where people are truly coming together as a group of leaders. And this isn't just one group. This is cross-line groups, which I've never seen this in my profession as far as a network marketer. So I started back in '03 is when I started and said yes to the network marketing space. And I just have never seen this group of leadership across the board come together in a company and not allow pride and ego to drive it. And so I just wanted to first say congratulations to you guys. Like, I'm going to plug into this every Friday if you guys will let me. But no, I've had a tremendous run. I've had a tremendous career. And Patti, if you don't mind, maybe I'll start from the beginning, like how I got started and why I got started and how it kind of led me to today's call. And then you and I can go back and forth on some discussions as far as what you think the group would need. I got started, like I said, guys, in 2003, but I want to take a step further back in the 1950s. Okay, and you guys are probably thinking 1950s, I wasn't even born. I wasn't even a thought in 1950s. But there were some amazing things going on in the 50s with my grandfather, Don Pickett. And he started a company back when Shackley started. They were 1 mile away from each other. And he started a company called Neolife. And if you look at the top 100 network marketing companies on the planet today, he's ranked 63 in the top 100, his company. And the reason I tell you that is because he saw the power in a leveraged vehicle where literally he could empower people to be self-entrepreneurs like he was when he was going door to door selling pots and pans. And so he got the idea. This is way back when supplementation was voodoo. I mean, this was like not mainstream. These companies were really kind of out on the fringe trying to really navigate an uncharted water. And I'm really proud of my grandfather. He sold that company in the late 70s, it was in the late 70s. But he started that company almost when he was 60 years old, guys. And so his vision and his passion, it turned into ranked 63 today. They do over $300 million in sales. And I grew up as a grandchild of an entrepreneurial-minded grandfather. And all I knew is that he was worth a lot of money. He kind of lived a lifestyle that I just thought was his everyday lifestyle, and that was everyone else's lifestyle as well. And it wasn't until I got older, and the reason my grandfather and I were so close is we spent a lot of time on his cattle ranch. So he took a lot of his wealth and he turned it into a cattle ranch, more for a tax write-off. But what I experienced with that was my brother and I started a beef jerky company from his cattle. And I was a beef jerky salesman I started that company in 1998. And I want to talk to you a little bit about trends and how important trends are specifically for our network marketing business. I caught one of my first trends with the Atkins diet. I'm sure everyone's tried the Atkins diet. It was the all-protein diet. Everything was going off. And we looked into the natural style beef jerky space because it was like, hey, we'll take grandpa's cattle. We'll turn it into a product. We love beef jerky. Let's try it. Well, guys, what was so interesting about that time is we started at zero. We grew so fast. We went from zero to millions in sales overnight. We couldn't keep up with the demand. My brother dilutes himself in stock to raise more money, and all of a sudden we get a pink slip. Every one of us, where venture capitalists have come in, and they took that company from us. They locked the doors. My brother stepped away as the CEO, and all of a sudden, you talk about job security. It was my grandfather's cattle, my brother and I's business. We owned the building, and here I am. I'm getting a 4-day pink slip. Now, at the time, I had 2 beautiful daughters that were born. They were 3 and 6. And I had a newborn that was coming in the middle of building a $500,000 home. And for the first time, guys, my financial spout had been completely turned off, meaning I didn't have any control over that, right? And I made a promise. It was interesting. I was driving down the freeway. It's this vivid memory of mine. Driving down the freeway, tears are in my eyes. I don't know what to tell my former wife at the time. I have a high school education, and here I am holding the bag with all of this overhead, more or less, and I didn't know what I was going to do. Now, what was interesting about the story is that I got a phone call on the way home. Well, 9 out of 10 phone calls in Salt Lake City, guys, are for network marketing. It's just kind of an interesting space being here in kind of the mecca of network marketing. But I took that phone call, and it was a friend of mine. He said, "Hey, Fry, I want you to come down. I want you to meet this guy." And I'm like, "I'm there. I'm coming for sure. I'll be there." The reason I said it so aggressively that I wasn't going to miss is because I didn't have any answers for my family or myself to tell my former wife at the time what it is we were going to do to be financially successful. I was terrified, you guys. And I went to this meeting, and there was 12 people at this meeting. And there's this gentleman. He's about 6'4", really tall, really slender, and he's wearing Dockers. He's got this little golf shirt on, and I'm just kind of in the back. My mind is not there, but I'm just passing time. And this gentleman starts to talk about reprogramming the brain to where you have to get into a leveraged vehicle. You have to get out of trading time for dollars. You can't do it. There's not enough time in a day for you to ultimately get to your financial goal. And what was resonating with me, guys, is that I was doing 18-hour shifts making beef jerky, and I was exhausted, and I could not get ahead. And all of a sudden, I'm listening to this gentleman about taking about a product and taking technology into the world, and how this company was going to grow from 1 billion to 5 billion, and we were going to ride the trends of that and growth. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. But the biggest thing that stuck out to me was this, that I could honor the promise that I made in my car while I was driving home, that I would never allow someone else to have total ownership and dictate my financial future for my family. It was that reprogramming in that short 45-minute opportunity presentation that network marketing was a way for me to honor that promise and know that I had complete control over my financial destiny. And guys, there's something really magical about that when you get to that. If you're a seasoned network marketer, and yeah, you're kind of playing around because you like the leveraged income, but you still have your job and you're still doing other things. For me, it was, I'm all in, and I'm not gonna quit. And I got started in this industry, and I said yes to the industry, and I said yes to the one thing that I would never ever quit. I didn't know where my journey would take me, because there was a lot of companies that would come, a lot of companies would go. There was really strong companies, a lot of pride and ego where leadership all of a sudden starts to have a lot of problems, and you see groups leave companies. I was familiar with that based on my grandpa's stories with his own company. But what I knew deep down inside is that when I said yes to the industry and yes to network marketing, yes to leveraged income, I would go and make a name for myself no matter what it looked like, no matter what it took, no matter if it took my family into a very, I don't want to say dark, but a very low place with the cycles of network marketing, right? We see this, guys, in life. There are cycles in life. There's cycles in the Bible for those that believe in God and do those things. If you look at it, there's feast and famine. There's just these cycles of life that we go through. So in my mind, I'd already framed out that it wasn't just going to be gummy bears and sunshine and $100,000 checks every single month, right? Like you see some of those people walk across the stage and they're like, I'm a garbage driver and I got started 4 days ago and I hit the bonus and now I'm making, whatever it is. And I love those stories because they happen. But for me, I knew that it was going to be a long, tenuous, really uncomfortable journey for me. And we got started, and I made my first phone call, and we basically called a gentleman here in Salt Lake who introduced me to a gentleman in L.A. L.A. was my second phone call. Didn't know this guy from Adam. His name was Mike Rock. He's a little Israeli guy, weighs about 100 pounds soaking wet. He says, I want to open Israel. And I said, no problem. We can open Israel. The company wasn't even there. But ignorance on fire, I just said, I'm going to get this done. Guys, I want you to know that from that one person, it took me to Israel all throughout Europe all the way back to the U.S. and down through Mexico. And that one person has probably taken me to over 30 plus countries in the first 1 year of my career. And so we hit the top ranks of that company. We just loved it, right? And I began to sort and sift influence. Now there's a thing that I say, amateurs sell and convince. Professionals sort and sift influence. And we'll talk a little bit about that, how important one person is to your business. And you don't know if you're going to meet him at the gas station today or if you're going to meet him through a friend tomorrow, but that one person can literally take you around the world. And my grandfather, before he passed away, he was 99 years old. He said, son, I want you to know one thing, and I want you to remember this one quote, and it will change your life forever if you truly understand what it means. He said, from one acorn, 1,000 forests are born. Meaning from me making a decision, 1,000 forests would be born of all of these different things that were happening around the world with regards to me saying yes to network marketing. And you guys can see that in your own business, right? A lot of you are from Denver. You can't keep your business in Denver. All of a sudden it starts to ping pong out of Denver and into Utah and into Montana and down to Florida and into Texas. And then you start asking the question about the international side of things. You start to ask one question in your group. Who do you know in Germany? Who do you know in Mexico? Who do you know in Hong Kong? Who do you know in Asia? Those little questions will lead you to some amazing people in your business. And so get used to asking, who do you know in Canada? In all the markets that we're open in through LifeVantage, ask people. Get in the habit of asking the drive-through lady, hey, do you know of anyone in Netherlands? And you'll be shocked when they say, yeah, my sister moved over there. She's lived there for 3 years. Her husband just lost her job. What are you doing over there? Those things happen all the time. And so what this did, guys, is it took me around the world. I've traveled over 41 countries. Now, there's a reason for this story, okay? There's the first person that I met at the first company I said yes to is the CSO of LifeVantage, Justin Rose. Okay, so think about this. Justin Rose and I meet. I have a really good run. I decided to go down a different path because I had some partners and some stuff and friction was happening. And I thought I'd be better off to go and carve out my own destiny with another company. And that's what I decided to do. But Justin and I stayed in contact, and his road took him down. He left that company. He went over to Shackley. He's done some amazing things with his career on the corporate side. Now, get this. He calls me 2 years ago and says, Right, I want you to meet a particular person in my company. I just left Shackley. I'm now at LifeVantage. And I was like, yes. Tell me about it. And at the time he called me the first time, I was not interested. I told Justin, I said, I'm good, man. I don't want to meet one person. I'm really focused. And you have to do that sometimes, right? You have to be open, but yet you still have to be focused. You can't just say yes to every single person if it's outside of what you're really, really focused on, right? So Justin waits patiently. He calls me a year later and says, look, we're up here at Park City at the Pro 5 Summit. I need you to meet a couple of people. Well, one of those two people were Tyler Daniels and Marcel Niederhauser, okay? And I had known Marcel from the middle of my journey. And I sat down with those two gentlemen, and Patti, this is why I said yes to LifeVantage. Okay, a lot of people ask me, why LifeVantage? This is the main reasons that I said yes to this company. One is I knew Darren Jensen before. Now, for those that don't know Darren Jensen, obviously he's the CEO. He had come over from Jeunesse. He had a tremendous career. He had taken 2 companies to $1 billion. Justin Rose, 2 companies to $1 billion. Dave Fleming, amazing person in the field that's over Europe and over the U.S. So the corporate staff and the corporate infrastructure gave me a lot of confidence knowing that when we go through a big growth cycle, we're not going to bury the company. These are very established, very professional people that know how to navigate through $200 million, $300 million, $500 million growth, right? My next question was, what is going on in the international markets? Now, the beauty of what happened was that I literally got a phone call, guys, and most people don't know this about my career with LifeVantage. I got a phone call from Mark Shinsato and Seth Mulder, the very first meeting that ever happened in LifeVantage. And it happened in the Garden Inn over in Sandy, Utah, and there was about probably 50 or 60 people in that room, and I couldn't see it. I mean, they had this little hokey, packaging, and I just thought, there is no way this thing is going to go on. And no kidding, to my surprise, I watched this company for 10 years, and it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And a lot of different LifeVantage distributors would call me, and I'd be like, man, what are you guys doing over there? This is incredible. Well, that gave me a lot of confidence, right? A 10-year-old company doing $200+ million. They'd done $1 billion in sales. They were publicly traded. They now have a corporate staff that's really rock solid. Now, a lot of things that were going on with the company that I was noticing years and years before that I thought was going to bury our company. 3 things that were going on. 1, they were going through a major audit. Number 2, they were going through a total revamp of executives. And number 3, they were going through a rebrand. Guys, those 3 things in network marketing, in our 100-year history, bury companies. One of those things. Like when you change the culture, you freeze the field. When you have a lot of confusion in the field, I call it a frozen mind is a confused mind, right? Or if you're confused, the field is frozen. So when you start going through rebrands of products and stuff like that, I mean, I cannot believe that the numbers didn't drop during those times. Well, you guys know the story. We came out of the audit totally spot-free. The executive team took the bull by the horns and have grown this company. We've had record-breaking quarters now moving forward. Our stock has gone through the roof. We're introducing more products, and we've really got our heads around this NRF2 and 1 with regards to the importance it is on the human body. Now, the main reason I said yes was now if you look at the solid foundation of a U.S.-based company that's 10 years old doing $200+ million and growing, but then I asked the question, what is Europe doing? And Europe was doing maybe 200,000 in volume. So my mind was going, okay, you have a great opportunity with the solid company, but you have what those early adopters, those early influencers like Marcel and Carrie Dickey and The Pose, and I mean the list could go on and on and on, right? Blue Elam and these guys. We have the ability to take the international markets to that level that the U.S. has done over the last 10 years. So I looked at Asia, and I'm like, Asia can do 250 million. You give Europe 5 to 7 years, they could do 200 million. The U.S. is going to continue to grow, and you have $1 billion company sitting right in front of all of us. Now, my main thing was this. I didn't want to participate. I wanted to lead. So when I came in September of 2017, we got after this thing very, very aggressively. Like Patti said, we were able and fortunate enough with a tremendous team to hit the ranks of Elite 8. We've been knocking on the door of Elite 9. And we've just done some amazing things, and the company's done some amazing things. And those were the main factors. Now, the compensation plan, very lucrative. The leverage that we all get, that's why we're here. But if you look at the 5 key components, everyone, I really want you to think about this. If you look at the company and you go through all of the company, it's rock solid. Are there some holes in what we're doing and some things and some growth that need to take place in certain areas? Absolutely. That'll always be the case. But if you look at our products, are our products rock solid? Do we ever have to worry about who we talk to that our products won't perform? I mean, we have more science that I think it slows us down in the field because we want to be scientists instead of just telling the story, putting products in people's hands and letting them see the benefit of what this company is from a financial standpoint, a time freedom standpoint, or a health standpoint. Because that's really what we're asking, right? People, when they look at anything, all they're buying is a benefit. How does LifeVantage benefit that person? And they'll look at it those three ways. So whenever I get a no, Patti, I just say, what are you not interested in? Financial freedom, time freedom, or health freedom? Which one of those are you not interested in? Because if you knew of a company that reduced oxidative stress up to 40%, would that be of interest to you? Absolutely. If you knew you could get to some of the lower ranks of our company and make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 residually, would that be interest? It's a side hustle. Yes, I need that. I'm looking for that. And so when you really break it down with the person, they can see that the company's rock solid, the products are rock solid. Now let's talk about the third important thing that I look at. And this is something you look at for any network marketing company or any company, period. Timing. Do we have timing in our hands? We have timing in our hands in a lot of different areas. For me, the international space right now is something that I'm most motivated with. The reason why is because my network is predominantly over in those international markets. So I have the opportunity in a timing standpoint to get in front and start to gain market share and be the first into those markets. We also have timing with the trends. There's tremendous trends that are going on with all the different verticals that we tie in brilliantly with, guys, that we have science that is so inundated with science and continuing to work for us that we are rock solid on that. So then you look at leverage. I don't need to go into leverage. Leverage is satisfying to all of us. It's something we all desire, right? So then the fifth component would be our compensation plan. When you look at that comp, it's very, very lucrative on one point, that it pulls people through. It's very lucrative on the front end, which means the masses can participate. There's enough people making money on the front end, but the beauty of the middle part of the plan, those middle ranks from 5, 6, and up to Elite 7, those are beautiful because of the payouts that they give. There's enough meat in that middle part of the comp plan that pulls people through. It doesn't push them through. It pulls them through that first part. And then you look at the back end of our compensation plan with our global sharing pool, with a lot of the matching bonuses and so forth. That's why you see a lot of big leaders being attracted to LifeVantage. And so we have an incredible opportunity. Now, the beautiful thing about where we all sit for me is that if I look at this company on a chain, as a chain, one link is the company, then we have product, then we have timing, then we have leverage, then we have compensation plan, and then we have you. But when you look at that, if I was to ask you what is the weakest link in all of that chain, who is it? More than likely it's us, right? And that's the good news, because now you start to look at exactly what this group is doing, building culture, building a family environment, building teamwork, building a group of empowered people that want to become the best versions of themselves, that are locking arms with each other and saying, how do we get our companies? How do we assist each other? How do we lean into each other to continue to assist us in our journey with regards to our LifeVantage business? And guys, the single most important thing that I've noticed in my 16-year career is self-development will grow your teams faster than any one thing that you can think of. And a lot of people will look at me and say, you're crazy, man. And I'm like, no, I've had 16 years that I've literally looked at my own business. When I was foggy, when my mind wasn't clear, when I was dealing with life and life was lifing on me, meaning I was behind in taxes, I was going through divorce, you're struggling and suffocating with your finances because of the cycles. I was dealing with custody battles and stuff like that. Those are real things. Those are real life stuff. But when you let life start to crush you and starts to sit on you and it starts to suffocate you, you can't help but have that be a direct influence on your business. Because I know if Patti's mind is on a breakup or taxes or finances, or she's nervous about this, or kids are having problems, or whatever it is, she can't be 100% present and the light that she knows she can be deep down inside for her group. And one of my best mentors, he said this. He said, if you want to grow your group, because your group will only grow to you as a person. We've heard this, right? So anytime that I got stuck in my network marketing business, okay, a lot of it is on your self-development, guys. I mean, your group will grow to you as a person. So you start seeing your group hitting. When I see the ceiling, it's this kind of stuff. The same people on the call, the same people at your meetings, no new people joining your calls or your webinars or your meetings, right? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, so far, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I won't move. I'm going to stay right here.
Good.
So those are little indicators as a group. There's indicators in your business that will tell you exactly where you are. Meaning, if I'm at a meeting and I see the same people and there's no new people, my groups hit the ceiling. If I'm doing a webinar and it's the same 5 or 10, 15 people with no new people, that's another indicator. My team hit the ceiling. If I have phone calls and it's the same people or very low numbers, okay? Now, low numbers are fine with me. I'm okay with low numbers. But as long as it's new people and it's people that have joined the business that are starting to progress, but when you see the same people with no new growth, guys, you've hit a plateau. You've hit that limit where you now have to develop. And what it does is it allows you to recharge yourself. It allows you to continue to be the leader out front. Because somehow, some way, you've now become just one big group that's not motivated in the same way. You're kind of going at the same pace. We need leadership out front. And if our group's not going to follow, that is not our problem.
You said it's time, if the other people don't come, it's not our problem. But then what are we supposed to do? That's where we missed.
Yeah, so that's when all those little indicators, that's when I go into self-development mode. So when you're struggling getting people to like elite academies or the LB academies or the webinars, or they're just not in the current of the business, go self-develop. Because what it'll do is it'll spark imagination. It's going to spark that inner child that allows you to dream again. It allows you to dust off the same routine. It allows you to change your pattern. If you guys want to change your life, the fastest thing and the fastest way you can do that is change your morning routine. Wake up an hour early and watch what happens. You know, I look at the names list as another really, really important thing. A lot of people just say, hey, Patti, go and make your names list of 250 people, right? Or, hey, Shannon, just look at your cell phone and you've got so many contacts. Just use that. What people fail to recognize is that your names list is the lifeblood of your business, right? So if I look at
yeah, you got unmute. So you said if you look at your names list.
Yeah, so your names is, I'm sorry, I'm not sure why this is glitching out, but if you look at your names list, it's no different than the health of you as a person is the health of your blood, right? If you have unhealthy blood, you're unhealthy as a person, as a human being. If you're unhealthy in network marketing, it's because you're not working a names list or you have a very small names list, right? Meaning if I would rather have 100 names on my list as opposed to 3 names on my list when I first start the business. But more importantly, most people don't know how to work a names list. The way I work a names list is based on groups. So I would take, like, for example, I would take my friends that all know each other. Let's say there's 10 of them. Then I would write all those names down. It'd be Mike, Joe, Steve, Tim, Sally, whatever it is, right? Then I would make another list right next to it, and I would reorganize them into the most influential of my friends. So now I'm going to reorganize that to where Sally's the most influential, Tom's the second most influential, and work that thing down. Now what's great about that, Shannon, is I would call, hey, Shannon, it's Fry. We've been good friends for a long time. I'd like to sit down. You and I have always talked about, making business, creating business. I feel really strong about a company that I need to educate you on that I'm really excited about. When can we do that? We go to the coffee shop. Shannon says, wow, I really like it, but I'm not interested. Where's my next phone call? To the second most influential. I go through the same thing. Let's say that's Mike. Mike says at the Starbucks, this is brilliant, Rye Fry. I'm totally in. Where's my next phone call, Shannon? Do I call to my third most influential, or I call back up to you?
I'd say you call back to me.
Definitely. So what you're doing is you're working your names list down, and as soon as you run into a no, like for example, you said no to me, my third phone call is back to Shannon, and now listen to the psychology. Hey, Shannon, it's Rye Fry again, and I'm also here with Tom. You know Tom really well. We're actually doing Life Vantage together, the same thing that I educated you on yesterday. Tom and I have a strategy. We're going to go at this thing as hard as possible, but we both would really like you to come with us. Now, what changes in Shannon's mindset?
A fear of missing out.
Fear of loss, fear of your friends doing something without you. You're able to ask more questions. And now what I'm able to do is saying, look, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, Shannon. I would love for you to join our business, and we're gonna put you in the group, and you're gonna work with Tom, and we're gonna go blow this thing out in a huge way. There's a difference there, right? Now it allows us to call the fourth person, which is Patti. Hey, Patti, it's Shannon, it's Tom, it's Rye Fry. We're so excited. We've been strategizing for the last 2 days. We've got you in mind. We would love to sit down with you for 30 minutes, all three of us. And you can do that on a webinar. And so now what you're doing with your names list, guys, is you're leveraging influence. You're allowing the influence to do all the heavy lifting as opposed to calling onesies and twosies, and we're selling and convincing Life Vantage. Okay? Really important.
Powerful.
So that's kind of how I got started. And I know that's a long story, but it ties into so many things, guys. My career has taken me to 41 countries in 16 years. Life Vantage is such a solid home for me. I've never had more success in my life, in my career, than I am having right now in Life Vantage. The people that are showing up, I've never been in a better place with my self-development. I've never had more control over my mindset. When life starts lifing, this business can be really hard, right? I mean, it can be so difficult. I mean, we can take things personal, like, hey, Shannon, it's Rye Fry. We've been good friends. I don't know why you're not calling me back. And we take it so personal. When in reality, Shannon might have blown her tire or having problems at home. She's not doing it in a mindset to be able to call you back, but we're taking it personal. And my one thing would be, don't take this thing personally, and also don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Guys, I couldn't walk your journey. You couldn't walk my journey. We would have quit, right? And I'm sure if we all have the ability to tell our story in detail about the intricacies and the details of our journey and how we all got here, most of us wouldn't have been able to carry that mantle. So your journey is unique to you, and you are on your own self-development and your own growth of your business. So I would just caution you, when you see people run through the ranks quickly, don't think you're doing things wrong. Don't think you're a failure. Don't look at it and say, oh my gosh, I've been a Pro 4 for 4 years and this guy's been a Pro 8 in less than a year. Like, this is crazy. What am I doing wrong? Has nothing to do with you, because you don't have 16 years of networking like I do, and a network like I do around the world, to where I can gain leadership and call certain people in certain countries that are already experienced people that are running. Where most people, the masses, start where? Like I did 16 years ago. Mm-hmm. Trying to figure this thing out. And so I have a passion for the industry. I love our industry. I stick up for our industry. I love Life Vantage. And I love people like you guys that are literally consistently working on this and working on their goals and their dreams collectively. And you guys are the ones that are changing the world. And it's deserved and it's needed. Like, guys, our industry has more answers for this world than anything combined. Anything. It allows people to literally control their own destiny of their own life if they're willing to step through their fear. And I promise you guys, 99.9% of your journey you're going to have to do scared.
Mm-hmm.
So just don't fight against being scared or being fearful. It's just part of the journey. But you guys will grow in such a way, and I'm just honored to share my story with you. And I'm open to any questions that you have, Shannon, the techniques that I do or how I do certain things, but we might be over time. I have no idea. I'm just kind of in the moment right now. So
I was going to say, right, this is Patti, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I think we could be on here for 4 hours. I've got a business card with notes on it in the hotel, like
nice.
So much. You're pouring into us so much, but we tried and keep this to 30, 35 minutes. Shannon,
yes, we could talk for 4 hours. Everything you've given us is so, so valuable. And Fry, I just want to hear more, but we can't do it today.
No problem.
But maybe we can get you back again. This was
absolutely
fabulous. Thank you so much. Just seeing your journey, your development, your belief, and what you've told from the new people to the seasoned people, it's valuable left and right, up and down. Thank you so much for today. We'll get the recording sent out, you guys. This is something that you want everyone in your organization to watch, your new people and your veterans. We're gonna let you go. Thank you, Rye.
Yeah, thank you.
And wow.
I know, right? I'm with you, Shannon. Thank you.
Well, Patti, I told you I'm here. So if you guys want to lean on me, if you guys need me back, if I need to plug in, I'm here to assist anyone that wants to go and take their life to a new place that they're not satisfied with. I'm here. So you guys can call me and use me however you guys want.
Beautiful. We love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Bye, everybody.